Back in the summer of 2023, I spent a weekend in a house where two people had died. I still don't know what happened to me that night, and I haven't slept alone in a house since. My fiance, Ryan, and I needed a place to live fast. Our lease was up, and we didn't want to sign another full year. A family friend owned a house in a beautiful part of town and offered to rent it to us for a cheap month-to-month rate. There was just one detail. The last two people who lived there had both died. They were elderly, and their deaths weren't violent, but the thought still made me uncomfortable. Ryan didn't care. He laughed it off and teased me whenever I mentioned it. The house had old stained carpet throughout, and in the living room there was one large dark stain. On our first day there, Ryan asked the owner what caused it. The owner told us the woman who had lived there fell and hit her head on an end table. The stain was her blood. She went to the hospital and never came home. Then he told us her husband had died only weeks earlier from a heart attack in the basement. The carpet was eventually replaced, the walls were repainted, and a security system was installed. Every time a door opened, a robotic voice would announce, "Front door open." A month later, Ryan left for his bachelor party weekend, leaving me alone in the house with our dog, Rex. Friday night was quiet. I ordered food, watched TV, and relaxed until almost midnight. That's when I heard a strange noise coming from the basement. I told myself it was just an old house making noise. Then Rex ran to the basement door and started barking. That wasn't normal. He rarely barked. I opened the basement door and turned on the light. Immediately, he stopped barking and started growling. I thought about going downstairs, but then I remembered that the old man had died there. I froze. I couldn't even bring myself to look down the stairs. I shut the door and went to bed. Rex stayed awake all night at the foot of the bed, staring at the bedroom door. The next morning, I decided to do some chores. When I walked into the laundry room, I stopped dead in my tracks. The washing machine had moved several feet away from the wall and was nearly in the middle of the room. I couldn't understand how it got there. When I pushed it back, I realized how heavy it was. There was no way it could have moved that far without making noise. I called Ryan and told him everything. He tried to reassure me, but I could tell he was concerned. Saturday night felt much the same. I was watching TV with Rex when, at exactly 9:18 p.m., a loud explosion-like sound came from outside. Moments later, my phone alerted me to motion on the garage camera. I opened the video and saw that the garage door was open. We never used that door. The footage showed strange flashes of light in the driveway. I went outside to check. There were no fireworks, no debris, and no sign of anything unusual. Nothing made sense that night. I checked the security system several times before going to bed. Rex stood guard again, occasionally growling toward the bedroom door. Eventually, I fell asleep. I woke up suddenly to violent pounding on the front door. I checked the clock. 3:39 a.m. The pounding continued. Then the security system announced, "Front door open." I immediately locked the bedroom door and grabbed my phone. The screen wouldn't turn on. No matter what I did, it remained black. Then I noticed the doorknob shaking. I started screaming for whoever was outside to go away. Eventually, I managed to call the police. They arrived quickly and searched the house. They found no sign of forced entry. Nothing had been stolen. Nothing was damaged. The only unusual thing was that the front door was standing wide open. I showed them the garage footage. They assumed it was probably kids setting off fireworks. As for the front door opening, they blamed the wind. After they left, dawn was beginning to break. I grabbed Rex, got into my car, and drove straight to my parents' house. I stayed there until Ryan returned. We continued living in that house for a few more months. Nothing strange ever happened again. To this day, I don't know what happened that weekend. Maybe there was a logical explanation. Maybe there wasn't. All I know is that I've never experienced anything like it before or since, and I hope I never do again.